Hi, this is Dale O'Shields, pastor of Church of the Redeemer, and thanks for joining me today for our devotional time. I want to talk to you today about finding some direction for your life. Maybe you're old enough to remember the days of using the paper maps. I can remember those days very well. And on those paper maps, you will mark out your destination and the journey that will take you there and the roads you need to take. But inevitably, along the way, you've got to stop generally and ask someone, how do I get to? And then you need to find that particular location that maybe is not on the map. Well, when it comes to our spiritual walk with God, we need very clear directions, a map that will point us in the direction that we need to go and some guidance in the journey. Because we're looking for how do we have a relationship with God? How do we get to know Him? How do we make sure that we're going to go to heaven when we die? How do we make sure that our relationship with God is solid and strong? Lots of questions that we have. And so I want to point you today to the map of the Bible and help you to see that there's a clear pathway to a relationship with God. I simply want to give you some verses that I encourage you to think about. The verses are found in the Gospel of John, John chapter 14, verse 6. When it comes to knowing how to get to God, what is the way to God? How do we have a relationship with Him? Jesus Himself said in John 14, verse 6, Jesus told them, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me. And then in John chapter 3, verse 16, how do we have eternal life? For God loved the world so much that He gave His one and only Son, so that everyone who believes in Him will not perish, but have eternal or everlasting life. There's the promise. There's the way to have eternal life. John 20, verses 30 and 31, as the Apostle John is wrapping up his beautiful gospel account of what Jesus had done and the miracles He had performed and the story of Jesus' life. He makes the statement in verses 30 and 31 of the 20th chapter of John. The disciples saw Jesus do many other miraculous signs in addition to the ones recorded in this book. But these are written so that you may continue to believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that by believing in Him, you will have life by the power of His name. Can I ask you today, have you made Jesus Christ the Lord of your life? Have you accepted Him as the way, the truth, and the life? Have you put your faith in Him, believing in Him, knowing that as you do, you will not perish, but have everlasting life? Have you come to that confident assurance that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that by believing in Him, you have life through the power of His name? If not, put your faith in Him today. That's how you get started on the right journey.